When would the world's bleaching coral reefs pass the point of no return? When would warming temperatures cause the Greenland ice sheets to collapse and trigger severe sea level rise? Leading scientists are now claiming that the world's chances of avoiding these very scenarios are diminishing, and rapidly so, as we enter what is now being called uncharted territory of destruction. According to the United in Science report, despite intensifying climate-related warnings that have been witnessed in recent years, governments and businesses have not been changing fast enough to cut down on their greenhouse gas emissions. The consequences of not cutting down on these emissions can already be seen across the globe. The recent flooding in Pakistan is another wake-up call. The floods had covered a third of the country in water. While in China, prolonged droughts resulted in the country's water bodies to deplete at worrisome levels. The consequences of climate change just do not end here. In several European countries, extreme heat waves are experienced, with many regions recording their hottest days in recent history.
This year's United in Science report shows climate impacts heading into uncharted territories of destruction. Yet, each year, we double down on this fossil fuel addiction even as the symptoms get rapidly worse, even as we know the cure. Our leaders pledged in the Paris Agreement to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees and build climate resilience. This year's United in Science report shows that we are way off track.
Back in 2015, almost all nations signed the Paris Accord. The key climate agreement aims to limit the global temperature increase in the century to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, while pursuing the means to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees. Recent reports, however, do not have an optimistic outlook. For example, a report carried out by the UN and partner agencies says that there is a 48% chance that the landmark of 1.5 degrees rise in global temperatures will be hit in the next 5 years.
The report is a shameful reminder that resilience building is the neglected half of the climate equation. It is a scandal that developed countries have failed to take adaptation seriously and shrugged off their commitments to help the developing world.
Moreover, if countries do not show any urgency to cut down on their greenhouse gas emissions, we are in danger of provoking tipping points in the climate system. For more than a decade, climate researchers have been monitoring 16 tipping points. Now you must be wondering, what are these tipping points? Basically, climate tipping points are conditions beyond which changes in a part of the climate system will become irreversible. The global climate system could spiral towards a dangerous state which would be beyond repair. And now the research comes as an eye-opener for everyone. According to the study, at just 1.1 degrees Celsius, 5 of these tipping points are expected to be hampered. We can already see the early warning signs in Greenland, which is located between the Arctic and Atlantic Oceans, the largest island in the world, with the second largest ice sheet. This is crucial. But this ice sheet in Greenland is now melting away, eventually increasing the sea level. Moreover, earlier this year, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change stated that the risk of triggering climate tipping points will become much higher by around 2 degrees Celsius of warming, and if no changes are made to cut down the greenhouse gas emissions, then the world is on track to become warm by 2.6 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.